imagination,
determination, courage,
partnership,
entrepreneurial spirit.
These values have identified our actions during the academic year 2012 and 2013 and allowed us to transfer our ideas into reality. So, listen to our story to see how we planted these seeds that grown into sustainability and long-term empowerment of the local communities.
But first, let us introduce ourselves. We are Enactus, University of Lodz, and we come from a city full of very active and creative people as we are. Let's have a look.
Niekoniecznie miejsce na biznes. Dla mnie Łódź to żyzna ziemia. Wystarczy chcieć i uparcie robić swoje. To miasto nie kocha bezwarunkowo, ale właśnie dlatego powstają tu wartościowe rzeczy. I nikt mi nie powie, że nie da się tu robić biznesu. Łódź kreuje.
This year, we carried out 4 projects: Green Up Your Waste, 50/50, Sign Me In, and Eco Farm.
Green Up Your Waste is a project we ran for the 4th time. The company we targeted, TME, is now ready to self-sustain the ecological solutions which we implemented. This year, they have generated additional 30% in savings, which adds up to a total of 200,000 zlotys saved in all additions. We are confident that they are now ready to continue on their own, even without our help. This project is at its maturity, but we have a few others on which we started working this year. One of them is 50/50.
Here, we focus on needs of elder people. Did you know that they make over 25% of people unemployed in Poland? Why is that? One of the most important reasons for this situation is that they are afraid of using high technology devices. So, to show them how to use them, we started cooperation with Foundation for Future, and then opened the cafeteria, where the trainings for people for over 50 could be conducted. The great opening was on May 16th. So the seed of cooperation, planted by us, bloomed with the improvement of quality of living.
Let's now focus on 2 projects that were most important for us. The first one of them is Sign Me In. Every household in Poland has at least one active mobile phone. 70% have a computer, and most of the computers also with the internet. As you can see, the information and communication technologies have completely transferred the way we live, work, communicate, and think. Let's have a few examples. Say, you cannot meet face to face. No problem, set up a video call. You need a quick money transfer? Not a big deal. Just enter your e-bank account and it's all done. Simply, isn't it?
Well, unfortunately, it's not that simple for everyone. And the sad fact is, I'm actually talking about the people who theoretically do have access to ICT, the hearing impaired. The problem here is the quality of this access. Let's state some facts first. A deaf person has a hearing problem. Fact. A deaf person has a reading problem. Fact again. Here is why. Polish Sign Language has no written equivalent, and its grammar is totally different from the grammar of the Polish language that we use and know.
That means that hearing impaired cannot understand most of the text posted online. In fact, only 8% of websites are adapted for the needs of deaf. The rest of it is like a foreign language. What are the consequences? The informational gap between society and hearing impaired increases.
Deaf people become deprived of chances to equal education. This results in low self-esteem, lack of belief in their skills and competences, and leads to a social exclusion. What number are we talking? Almost 1 million people in Poland.
So we couldn't stay indifferent to the situation. We've set our main task, reducing the social and digital exclusion of hearing impaired. We wanted to make them feel part of our knowledge-based society, and we wanted to sign them in.
Our action is an upgraded version of the last year's project, Learn and Discover, which was aimed at children. We are very proud of the result that we obtained, but we also realized that we can do much more with the older children. because they can immediately put into action the knowledge that we transfer to them.
We performed a needs assessment of our target group. 2 surveys distributed among 300 participants showed that the hearing impaired lack the necessary skills and knowledge that would allow them to find a job. They don't know how to write a CV, a cover letter, not even how to use a job searching engine. And why is that? Well, because most of the resources available online are too complex for them, and they lack a video translation to sign language.
We have noticed that decreasing information asymmetry is participation of everyone, deaf people, companies, the general public. As so, we split our project into 4 phases.
In phase 1, together with a company BecomePL, which is offering innovative solutions in promoting sign language, we have created an internet platform which consists of an internet application that generates CV, supported by an online template and assistance in sign language, a video guide for people who would like to go for an Erasmus program, and of course, there's much more to come. Let's see what our partner has to say about us.
Przemek Śmiech Mediatora reprezentuje jeden z największych na świecie słowników języka migowego. W 2012 roku rozpoczęliśmy współpracę ze studentami z Enactusa. Dzięki tej współpracy powstał projekt internetowy, który pomaga znaleźć pracę osobom słyszącym i wejść na rynek pracy. Liczymy, że projekt będziemy dalej rozwijać. Cieszę się, że spotkałem młode osoby, dla których ważne są idee CSR-owe. Ci młodzi ludzie rzeczywiście zmieniają świat wokół siebie.
In the second phase, we prepared a series of workshops and trainings. First of them was dedicated to hearing impaired. We wanted to elaborate on the concepts from our platform and to help them out in using it. Second of them was dedicated to students. Here, we took it at the grassroots level. We approached students from IT and management courses, as in the future, they will be the ones responsible for creating accessible websites and designing work environment which should be disabled friendly. The more aware they become, the better they can meet special needs of hearing impaired in the future.
In phase 3, we tackled the business world. Together with the sign interpreters from Guest Association, we prepared a sample offer of bank and insurance companies' translation. We've done this because we believe that it's extremely important for the hearing impaired to have access to such important services. The companies participating in this phase of our project are part of a great CSR initiative, and they gain credibility and trust in the eyes of the society.
In phase 4, we enter into international collaboration. We got in touch with the Association for Hearing Impaired in South Africa. Since our project has already generated positive results here in Poland, we can now successfully transfer the knowledge that we have to other countries. This will result in the synergy effect and sharing of best practices and contribute to the development of our project.
So what did we manage to achieve?
During workshops, we transfer valuable knowledge to hearing impaired, and now they become resourceful individuals.
By increasing the knowledge by 40% and the self-confidence by 60%, so this means something.
To further enhance the results of our projects, we planned and scheduled 15 workshops in special educational schools in our country.
But that's not all. We took a step towards accessibility. Here you can see a website we created for one of our partners. Furthermore, we created an online platform, which we already mentioned, where we equal the chances of the hearing impaired. We also managed to create a large network. We have 5 partnership organizations so that we can ensure sustainability and further development of our project. Finally, we will spread knowledge about Sign Me In while presenting it during a national conference held on June 18th in Warsaw.
This is already impressive, isn't it? But it's not the end of that. We will now go to our second project, Eco Farm. Many people experience nature as an environment where they can rest and recover from daily stress. But that's not really an option anymore. Recently, we observed a decline in quantity and quality of the green spaces in cities. Almost half of the world's population lives in urban areas now, but in the next 30 years, this number will reach even 70%, so the situation will get worse. There is always a way to escape it by moving out of the city, but some people simply cannot afford it.
These people are also most affected by prices of food. They spend even 60% of their income on food each year. They could spend less if the city was self-sufficient. Nowadays, we import a lot, using products grown hundreds of kilometers away. It generates cost, unemployment and pollution that could be avoided.
On the other hand, cities are struggling with health problems. One of the most common are disabilities. There is almost 6 million of disabled people living among us here in Poland. Great majority of them are mentally disabled.
Well, apart from having limited access to green zones, facing high food prices, they also have a really hard time finding and maintaining a satisfying job. Although actually majority of the mentally disabled are able to work, they decide to become pensioners and just step out of the active world.
Having seen that all of those three problems are really important, we resolved them with one great solution. Our main task was to add a new value to urban soil and activate mentally disabled people to produce food locally. To do so, we planted a seed of self-reliance and we just simply wanted to make them happy.
We carried out a profound needs assessment, also analyzed the similar cases from foreign countries, and the best idea that we came up with was to create a farm for mentally disabled, where they could work, but most importantly, receive therapy.
The concept was built upon the idea of hortitherapy, a way to activate mentally disabled by gardening. But it's not really the gardening itself that matters. It's all about the feeling important and responsible, creating bonds, breaking the isolation and rebuilding the self-esteem. There's also an economic benefit to it. Once the vegetables grow, the farm can sell them and become self-sufficient. The money earned will cover the expenses and provide the best-in-class therapy.
So now it all comes down to the cost. Creating such a farm is an investment of around 700,000 zlotys. Well, unfortunately, we don't have this kind of money. But we didn't get discouraged. We're working step by step on creating this farm. First thing we did was conducting a pilot version in a nursing house number 5 in Lodz. We got in touch with Green Spaces architect. Just hear what he has to say about our project.
Projekt łączy ze sobą dwie bardzo ciekawe dyscypliny, czyli ogrodnictwo miejskie, uprawianie warzyw i owoców w mieście, bo jednocześnie z zaangażowaniem osób wykluczonych społecznie. W tej grupie tkwi największa aktywność i największy potencjał do wykorzystania. To właściwie mnie oczarowało, że tacy młodzi ludzie są bardzo zaciekawieni tym tematem, bardzo rzeczowi i entuzjastycznie do tego nastawieni.
And then we created the plan of the garden together. Later, we had a few meetings with the beneficiaries to tell them what is about to happen. Finally, we helped them plant the seeds, but the truth is they were pretty much able to do it on their own.
The most important result of this year is building up a detailed plan of how to create a farm. We established a network combining all the skills, knowledge and contacts necessary to make it happen. The pilot version of the project showed that this kind of action really do work. Our beneficiaries easily got involved into taking care of the newly created garden. We are really proud to see that the seed we planted is now rapidly growing on its own.
To sum up, this year we created 80 square meters of garden together with 20 mentally disabled people and 10 volunteers. 30 types of plant seeds were used and over 400 hours were dedicated. We have a business model for a farm and now are working on implementing it. The idea we had made many people get involved and work together to make our world a better place.
Now that you've seen all what we have done this year, let me remind you about our main achievements. In the Sign Me In project, the seed of belonging that we planted made hearing impaired feel part of our society. We also decreased the information gap so that now they can easily sign in. In the Eco Farm project, we combined social, economic and ecological factors and let them flourish into one best possible therapy for mentally disabled. We also managed to add new value to urban soil, but most importantly, to the lives of our beneficiaries.
Our curiosity helped us find people in need who are coping with difficult life situations.
Our imagination created 4 different projects which will be changing the lives of those people.
Our determination has led us to success and achievement of great results.
With our entrepreneurial spirit, we planted the seeds and made sustainable changes in our community. We're Enactus, University of Lodz. Thank you for your attention.
Q&A session. First question.
Thank you for that really good presentation. Just a question on the eco farm. You mentioned that these farms will be self-sustainable. How will they pay for themselves in the future? I'm just curious about that.
Well, the idea is that now we are working, well, we have worked on the pilot version of this project, but at the same time we're preparing the farm that would actually sell the products. We are already doing that. So the idea is that they would sell the products and the money earned will cover, well, probably not all of the expenses, but some of them, so that they can have a sustainable model. In fact, we have, in this project, we are basing on the idea that we have already seen in one of the eco farms in Germany, in Saarbrücken, and they also have this kind of solution for that, that they sell some products, receive money for that. Also, they have to have some fundings from, for example, governmental organizations, but even though the earnings are big enough to cover most of the expenses.
Good morning, very good presentation, thank you. Regarding first project, you mentioned some cooperation with South Africa. Would you mind to describe it in more details?
Sure. Since our project was already bringing results and our partners are also involved in international collaborations, we figured that it would be a good idea to search abroad, somewhere where it's really needed to help the hearing impaired. In South Africa, it turns out that there are around 40 million of hearing impaired. And so there is a list of organizations that we have. There are actually a few Enactus teams that also have, at their universities, there are hearing impaired organizations helping the hearing impaired. So we got in touch with them by phone, we presented what's our project all about, but obviously we'll have to make proper adjustments to the environment that they have. On the other hand, we want to have this exchange of experiences. We have a person that will be able to represent us once a month or twice a month in South Africa. So we are now building grounds, and we think it can bring synergy to the project and be beneficial for us and for them.
What I wanted to add, just a small sentence, is that also in South Africa there are already some organizations, what Marianne said, but they really are actively trying to help those people. So it's not that, well, we are going to help them obviously, but we are going to also exchange the ideas. This is also the aim of this project.
I have a microphone. I want to give it away.
We are waiting for your questions.
And regarding this Sign Me In project, you mentioned that the results of your project is increased knowledge and also self-confidence by 60%. How do you measure your results?
Right. We conducted, we first conducted the surveys before the workshops. We talked with the kids, through an interpreter, of course, and it really showed that their confidence is really low. They expected the workshops to really help them. And what we've done, we wanted to make sure that they actually know how to search for a job. So we showed them that this is our platform. We didn't want to leave them alone with just a platform and give them the website address. So we went step by step through it so that they can generate the CV. And later, after sometime after the workshop, we distributed additional surveys to combine what are the results, how they feel, if they feel more secure, more confident, and we were happy to discover that it did work and that they felt very positive about this.
Time left for a very short answer and even shorter a question and even shorter answer. Right, let me thank University of Łódź then for their wonderful presentation, and I appreciate it.